Hi everybody, it's Febrith and I'm doing a coffee morning video. The house that I'm going to start to build is the Cullen family residence from the Twilight movies. I don't care what you say. I love those films, and so there. So moving past that, as you can see, rather than, watching me unload all the stuff, basically I've made a few items that I'm going to need. These are sumac tall dividers, narrow dividers, some granite tall and narrow, and some wispy windows. The alternative that I was going to use is the glass tiles, but I decided I'll try these first, see how I get on with them, and then if necessary I'll switch to the ice tiles. They might be a bit more in keeping, but I think I'm going to like the effect of these better. We'll see. So you can see it's a big old empty place. There's nothing in the moving crate now apart from a few odds and ends from when I was gonna make, and indeed had started to make, the pearly gates, but then I changed my mind, and I was looking for another interesting fictional residence, and the Cullen family one, I really like that house. I wouldn't want to live in it, but I think it's quite beautiful. So I'm going to start off, as I always do, with the floor, rightly or wrongly, and for this purpose I'm using the burnished metal tiles, and as you can see from their original starting point they get pretty massive, so that's as big as they'll go, and that's just using the mouse wheel. So that's quite a decent sized floor area, especially when you're as wee as I am. Now I need to decide, where do I want this house to go? I want it to be quite close to the entrance here, because then most of it will have rendered in when people come through. If I built it over here, then it would take forever, especially for people with slower computers like mine. It's not top of the range and it's not new, so it's sort of middling. So yeah, I want to build it quite close to the entrance, but I also want to have room to put in some forest around the house. So I think I'll move it just back a little bit. Yeah, that's about right. And then I need to decide, how big do I want the floor plan? I've got a double garage to somehow finagle, as well as a curious L-shaped bit that sort of sticks out over the edge of that house. So this video is going to be in like a million parts as I do bits. So for now I'm just going to get the basics in. And I am a slow decorator. I know that it probably seems like I'm fast because I do publish quite a lot of houses, but I'm actually not. It's just that I'm lucky enough to work part-time rather than full-time, so I have a bit of free time to be able to do this. And you can see glimmer, and you can see it's not a straight edge, so using the tools Control and E, I'll just move this around. And then what I do is, if I find that I absolutely cannot get it straight, or I cannot get rid of glimmer, shimmer, then I oftentimes cover with other tiles that are a bit better behaved, or a rug. Or you can just move it slightly up or slightly down, and you can lose it that way. The only problem is you might get rid of the see, now it's perfect. Oh my god, that's so perfect. I'm going to leave it exactly as it is, except when you view it from this angle, and now you can see a lip, so not that perfect. But for now I'm going to get it, the floor plan, and then worry about that later with the tidying up. Oh, I'm so heavy-handed with my mouse. I'm sure other people have ways of doing this that is going to be quicker and probably, you know, a better way of doing things. But I'm just showing you how I do it, and you can take from it what you will. Okay, so I've gone 3 wide so far. I'll tidy those up in a minute. But I think 3 is probably going to be enough. Maybe a 4th for the double garage. And then I'm going to be running into pond territory, but this is a big house and it's a big island, so you know, you don't want to be putting a teeny weeny little house on a great big space because it's completely lost. The perfect thing about this island is that it's nice and flat. I've said it a million times every time I do a video of one of these islands. It's nice and flat, there's no tufty grass, it's a gift compared to, you know, like Isle of Refuge, which is a complete pig. There's trees everywhere, exactly where you don't want them to be. Same with Oak Mist Grove. Oh my god, I'm so spastic today. That's another one that's really difficult to work with from the point of view of, you know, things sticking up through your tiles. It drives me crazy. But there's, you know, you just need a lot of patience. I'm sure using the layout editor, you could probably do this in 3 minutes flat, get the whole floor laid, and it would be perfect. But I just don't know how to use it, so I'm left with doing it the old-fashioned way. And also, you do need to be a bit careful. Wow, look at that shimmer. With your angles, you can't, you know, it's very hard not to, you do have to make an effort, because otherwise, when it comes to laying the foundations of the walls, then you're going to run into trouble with that, because nothing will fit properly, and it just gradually, over time, as you build it up, it just gets worse and worse. So yeah, so I'm going to lay another 4 and straighten them out, and then I'm going to get started on the wall, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and tidied the floor up somewhat. You can see every shimmer on the floor tiles, but they're pretty straight, sufficient for my purposes anyway, and these will probably be lifted up to be the ceiling in the fullness of time, but for now I need to determine where I'm going to put my stairs, and because that will then determine the height of my walls. So I've got 2 staircases, the 8-step polished ones from the marketplace, which I think will go well in this home, and one staircase isn't going to give me that much headroom, so what I'll probably do, if I use these at all, is use 2 of them. And then just judge, see, that's going to be probably too high, 2 staircases worth. So I could make them smaller. Yeah, it's still going to be too high, or I could use the other stairs that I have, which are these, which are also quite appropriate for this house. Oh, not that one. That one. Stately street stairs, which I really like. I love these stairs. The only thing that happened to me when I used these last, see, that's a much better head height, isn't it, for a new floor, was that these ones, I kept falling through that bit. I don't know why it's not falling through this time. So that's cool. Excellent. Okay, so I'll probably use these, and that will be my new floor level going in there. And so now I can get my walls in. So the house has a garage, a double garage on one end, and is in a different material. It's a sort of concrete coloured grey material, and down here it's all windows and wood. So I got these narrow and tall dividers. These get pretty massive. Okay, that's as big as that'll get. That's okay. Corner needs tidying up. Compare that with my staircase. Staircase is probably too big. Yeah, it is. So, not by that much actually. It's not too bad. Okay, well, I'll just start placing and see how it goes. So looking at the side view pictures of the house, there's much more of that dark concrete looking stuff on this corner. And I'm just using the shift button and my control key just to wind it up and make it bigger. Okay, it's a nice neat corner. A little bit of shimmer there, but nobody will ever see that. And then I'm going to refer back to the picture again. Yeah, I'm definitely using these stairs for the first floor. Oh, see, there it happened. I fell through them. Oh, well, I wonder if it's just a glitch as to where they're placed. That's so annoying. Because what I had to do last time was put in fillers, you know, railings across every stair, so that it was almost a hand-built staircase. Yeah, to stop that from happening. Oh, irritating. Alright, well, perhaps I'll put the staircase back over there again where it didn't happen. That's very random. Fine this time. What the hell? What? Well, that's very strange. Okay, so the rest of the house, the ground floor, is really loads and loads and loads and loads of windows. So this section is going to be my double garage, so I'm not going to use this wood there. I'm going to use the wood along here as the kind of foundations. And again, I'm just using the shift. Okay, that's about right. How thick that is, might bring it down a little bit more. Yeah, it's better. Okay, I'll carry on with that and get the walls in, and then I will be back. Okay, so I've got most of the groundwork in. I've put in a door frame here, which is my garage entrance, and there's going to be windows here and then in the pictures that I've seen of that house, it then goes back a ways, and then there's more windows. This is where the door's going to be, with windows surrounding it and above it, and also around here. And then there's going to be like this chimney breast affair. It isn't, I don't think, coming up here for 2 levels. And then I've continued with this around the side, and I'll continue with it going on forward around, and all these are tall dividers which I've literally just sunk down into the ground. So I'll continue with that pattern, just referring to the picture. All this tile work is going to be lifted up to form the floor of the first floor, if you like, and then I will lay new tiles for the ground floor. But there's going to be, as you can see, this is the ground floor plan that's outlined here in the granite. This floor, when it gets lifted up, is going to overhang, so there'll be a walkway going all around, and then this big patio type thing on this level, but up. And because that house is built on a hill, which of course I don't have here, I've got a flat surface, whereas there they have a swimming pool out the back, which is literally surrounded by woodland, and it's on this level, it's on the first floor level. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. I'll probably just build it in midair and improvise, you know, stand it on a few columns or something. It'll be fine. It doesn't have to be exact, it can't be, because I haven't got the landscape, but it'll be a good approximation of it, I hope, by the time that I get through with it. So I'll carry on with that and then move on to the next stage. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got to the point now where the ground floor plan is laid out, and the first floor is going to overhang this. So where you see all this and you've got tiles excuse me, around the outside, it's meant to be that way. So I'm going to lift these up to what is going to be my first floor level. And as you can see, I literally do it just using the in-game tools. Every now and again you get one that just doesn't want to play, and you have to do it literally inch by inch. But hopefully we won't get that problem. Or if we do, well, we'll work with it. So that's the first one up. And then I just do the same. So now obviously I'm going to have to put in ground floor tiles. And I'll need to go around and neaten everything. See, that's right old 2-8 state. Okay, this one's the awkward one because the staircase. This is okay. Some of these joins are going to be hidden by internal walls and some by rugs, so I'm not stressing too much about it. This one is right over my staircase, so I'm going to get to the top of the stairs and just bonk my head straight into the floor. So I need to fiddle with that one. For now I'm just getting it up there so that it's in place. Wow, that went in remarkably well. and I need to lower this a little. So that now that's almost just about in line with where the floor is going to be. I'll bring up the rest of the tiles. I'm not sure what to have. I think probably wooden floors downstairs, except in the garage. Okay, so I won't bore you with all of this. Instead, I'll get this into place and then I'll start fitting in the ground floor, and then I'll be back. Alright, so as you can see, the floors have all been moved up now and the staircase aligned, and I have put in the foundation of the first floor, which is sumac railings all the way along. It just gives me a nice straight line to work off of for the next level, which overhangs quite considerably the ground floor, as you can see, and this will be the large deck area that the Cullen house has, which overhangs the ground floor. And if you look at it on the side, you can just see little bits of daylight, so I know that that railing needs to be taken down slightly, and actually you can see it. It's, oh boy, when you're building like this, it's really quite, you have to check everything as you go, because if you don't, you end up being out of kilter really quickly and easily. There you go, excellent, no daylight. Because I'm placing these railings right on the edge, actually I'll be able to get away with it on this edge because there's lots of room. There's going to be a fence going along here. Haven't quite made up my mind what I'm going to make it out of yet. The Cullen house has a wooden fence. Just slide it into position, and that's resting on top of the tile nicely. This line, however, didn't, so I had to put it on the floor and lift each one, but that's very boring for people to watch, so I just went ahead and did that. This doesn't marry up because these bits of walls were much thicker than this one, and certainly that one, but this garage effect here, I'm happy with that. That's okay, and I've put the internal walls in there just so I know what I've got to work with for inside space. And this needs the floor laying, which I'll do shortly. The windows are going to be one of the last things that I do. I want to get the structure in place, and then I can fill in the windows. There's another floor to go on this yet anyway, so that's why I want to get all these railings into place so that I can then sort that out, and then I can sort out putting down some tiles for the top floor. The top floor isn't as big as this middle floor. If you look at the pictures on the internet of the house, then there's this whole section here is sort of walk around, so that's just there provisionally at the moment so that it can be the walk around area leading onto this big deck, and there'll be bedrooms upstairs. So I'll carry on with it and come back to you when I start the next phase. Okay, so some pictures of this property that I've seen show it with an outside pool on one of the levels. It's either the first or second floor. So what I've done is I've laid it out, the basics of it, on the floor, and all I'm doing is lifting up the blocks into place, just using the in-game tools. So I can get it roughly where I want it to be. It's all a bit shimmery when you look at it from a distance. And I decided to use the half blocks rather than stairs, just because I wanted to stand on some pillars, because obviously I haven't got a hillside for it to build into. I'm going to have to give it some sort of support rather than just have it hanging weirdly in mid-air. As you can see, if you set it all out on the ground first and then lift it up, it makes your life so much easier than trying to place things in mid-air or putting a tile. Being able to fly is such a blessing. And I haven't actually done anything for a couple of days because I've been busy doing other things, and it's the moonlight, so I shouldn't even be doing this now. I should be I should be grinding that, but I just thought I'd like to get the pool at least in place so that I can then start working on the next floor up for the structure for that. So just 5 minutes. And this pool's going to be lined with crystal mosaic probably. But the white tile is there for the moment, just to... There's going to be a lot of white used in this property. When I come to it, the Cullen house seemed to have a lot of... It was mainly wood and this white colour. So may or may not use some white around this. See, it would just look weird hanging in the air. It does look quite weird right now. And it'll take a while to get everything, all the corners neat and tidy. For now I'm just getting it up into position. And the idea is that there'll be an entrance from this level out onto this pool. I might even foreshorten the pool a little bit or change the shape a little bit. See what it looks like when it's all in place. And I don't know about you, but I do that a lot. I start off with one thing and then change my mind when I see it. You know, I'm not thrilled, it's not doing it for me or whatever. Okay, nearly there. Can't help but think this must be a bit boring for people to watch. Okay, and then as I just walk along this, I can get the line sorted. I need to bring it down actually. I need to bring the other end down. I can't have it going over that lip there. And I'm lucky enough to have two monitors. This big old TV which I have the game on, and then a normal sort of monitor, computer monitor, which I have usually Netflix open, watching some nonsense or another. So I often get distracted. Oh, well, boy, you can see that's really quite far out. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't know why I'm faffing, but you know. Alright, and then the base can come up. And because this is such a modern property, I won't use the City of Mist columns or anything really ornate like that. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet. That's better. To support it, maybe metal poles or something. Okay, that's neat enough. I just need to bury this slightly. Oh wow, now you can see which ones are... These are all to their fullest, so you can see straight away which ones are slightly up and which ones are slightly down. That side's not too bad. Alright, that looks neat from underneath now. Nice and square and pretty good. Okay, well that's the pool area finished. Well, you know, structurally anyway for now. It's actually quite large. I'm going to foreshorten it for sure. I'll probably put some granite steps along here just to make this area wide enough for people to walk along properly, and maybe some steps down into it. Okay, right, I need to go away and kill some more golems in Valumbra for some more arcane gravel, so I'll see you on the other side. Hi, so I completely forgot where I was up to, went off and did other things, did some real life stuff, and now I'm back putting in some windows on the ground floor, and I'm just using these railings as dividers, and looking at the pictures to make sure what's stone, what's wood, and for now I've decided to use the ice tiles rather than the wispy thingies for this ground floor, and I'm just going to see how it goes. So I've got some tiles from New Hellas and some of them off of the marketplace. The New Hellas ones don't fit wide expanses like this. You'd have to have two, and then there'd be a join, and then you'd see it probably. But for little spaces like that one, that window, the New Hellas tiles will fit in there nicely. And so all I'm doing is I'm getting one of the tiles out. Maybe the New Hellas one will fit here. Yeah, no problem. That's as big as it gets. So just lay it down, then using the tools, flip it up. Ooh. And make sure it's nice and straight, or as straight as can be. We've got a join on this corner, and you can see straight away one of them's not straight. This one's pretty bad. I don't worry about the gap here, for example, because I can cover that with a railing. There will be a railing on this edge anyway. And then I can just check that I haven't gone, ooh, I've gone a bit far up. You can see it sticking out there. So I'll just bring it down a tiny bit. Actually, is it this one? Yeah, it's gone. Good one. And then for the corner, I'll use a railing, but not sumac this time. I'll use the granite. As soon as I find them. Then I just make this as big as it goes. Get it lined up. Check it from every angle. That's better. Not perfect, but it'll do. And then faff. Oh, bye. That is so that is so not straight. And I should have put this in first, shouldn't I? It looks a different colour than the rest of the granite. How maddening is that? Oh, what's even more maddening is it doesn't get as tall as the other. I never knew that. These don't get as long as the other railings. Oh, that's woeful. See, look at the difference between that and this one's just one sumac railing. That's so annoying. Alright, well, it's either going to be use 2 or forget about it and use a sumac one. So not particularly straight. Oh, that's better. Okay, and then just lift it. Alright, and then you can lift your other tile back up. And then just check the top. Well, that's neat, you can't see it. All good. And that's actually quite straight. Okay, well, I will go around and fill in the rest of the windows and maybe put a floor in, and I will see you for the next step. One thing I meant to say, when you're building and you're not quite sure about your floor levels, especially when you're building on a tiny character like my Fae, and she's quite a big Fae, but even so, you know, there's only so big that you can make them, is to come on a bigger character. This is a high elf and she's got the harvester cloak on, so just to make sure that your ceiling levels are okay. I was a bit concerned that this first floor might be a bit low, but actually it's alright. Also, by having different sized characters, you can see things like this, little gap there. Not anymore. Close that off, and you know, little things like that when you're doing your inspection as you're going around, it's handy to be able to just check that you've got it all lined up. And as you can see, for this floor, this is going to be the top floor, second floor. I've put some markers in, just here and there, so that I can make sure that when I come to build the outsides and put the windows in, everything marries up, it all lines up okay, and there's not going to be any glaring cock-ups. She says confidently. We'll see. Anyway, so that's all we need of Febrimsky. I will get back on with it. A few more windows have gone in, and I still haven't laid the floor. I keep getting distracted by other things, but I will come back with the next step shortly. Okay, by way of an update, I have laid some of these fancy fulgent tiles around the outside of the building, nice and simple. This is for the garage floor, and just along here there'll be some gardens out here where the roadway would run for the real property, and I've put in sumac floors, and so far I've just sunk some white tiles down into there just to add a bit of definition for the different areas of the ground floor, but that's as far as I've got at the moment. It just makes it look more complete, and just to give me an idea of how I'm going to split that up. And then on the first floor, I haven't really done much here other than I put in the wall along here, so that we can get out and go to see the swimming pool, which I've just put some water in, and I've made these impacted metal. These are railings and some stairs to add a bit of support for those on the corners, just so you know these railings are what it looks like on the original property. So for this section I've done that, and then that's it really. I haven't really done much else. It seems to have taken ages. I've had to line the edge of these tiles with stairs because there was a slight difference between the floors, and when it came to putting the window in on this side, the glass wasn't hitting the floor, plus it looked kind of untidy, so I've put in these stairs along this edge. There you can see one better, and I will carry on with that around the edges before I then put in the walls for the third floor. And literally all I'm doing is I'm just laying the stairs like this, and then just pushing them down so that they're nice and neat, and you get a nice neat edge like that. So I'll do that all the way along, all the way around the building. And so when it comes to fitting the windows for this floor, it's going to be a much easier job. I'm not so concerned about this floor. I've yet to put the walls in. But I'm yet, not so bothered about this, simply because the top floor, the second floor, is smaller than the rest of the house. So that'll be easier, I hope. Famous last words. So I'll come back with the next section as soon as I've finished tidying up that lot. Okay, so I've added my garage doors over here. It's basically one of those roll-up garages. It just needs a handle to go in there. That's just a couple of tall dividers of granite and some impacted metal railings. And I've added the top layer of the house now. That was a bit of a pain from the point of view of the roof. But nevertheless, I'm just at the stage now where I'm going around and checking for gaps, because believe me, no matter how hard you try to avoid it, there will be some, and it's really annoying. And when you think you've done it and you've gone round once, go around again. So the shell of the home is done, the layout's done. This is the first floor where there's wooden railings, and I've laid them out. So now I'm just going to lift them up. So that they're going to be all neat and tidy. And this will be all the way around the property. And when I have finished the complete shell, which won't be long now, I'm going to save the layout, and then anybody who wants it, just let me know, and I'll send it to you. You can see this is going to be all the way around. Those railings are going to go up. And I just did the same on the second floor. I'm improvising a bit actually from the picture. Look at that gap there. Because some views of this house, there's a mountain range. Obviously it's built into like a hill, so I've had to improvise a bit with the design. There we go. Ooh, still there. But it's easy enough to, make it so that it's all kind of in keeping. So I'll put a little balcony out here, and then I'll just use these Nexus dividers. Are they Nexus ones or faceless ones? I can't remember. Oh my god. Faceless, there we go. Faceless dividers to act as the flat roof. That house actually has a very slight pitch to its roof, but it's like this big thick roof. But I decided not to give it a pitch, just because it makes life so much easier if you don't, and it's nice and flat. Very modern, isn't it? Anyway, like I say, when I finish faffing with it and I've got all the gaps got rid of, put in the poles for support for the swimming pool area, etc., I'll save the layout, and then if anybody does want it, you're welcome to it. I'll put in the insides later, but I think what I'll do once I finish this structure, before I start on the insides, I'm going to put the forest in, because it's been too long since I did any gardening and I'm missing it. So yeah, I'll come back when I do that, I think. I'm sure there was something else I was going to say, but whatever it was, I've forgotten. Oh well. Anyway, so I'll come back when I've made some pine trees, etc. And I'll see you soon. So next I'm going to start working on the gardens because I'm so bored with the house now. Good news is, placed items 3. 3 out of 900 so far, so I've got plenty to play with. The structure is done, and all I've done is put in a few dividing walls upstairs so far. I haven't quite worked out the layout of the rooms yet, but I've laid a bit of floor just to give a bit of contrast, and I need to put some thresholds in and sort out a few glitchy tiles. This is going to be a bedroom and bathroom, I think. And then next there's going to be a dressing room type area that leads out onto the pool. And then up on the next level, all I've done here is put in another bathroom and another bedroom through here. So all of the inside still has to be decorated. Luckily the Cullen house is quite sparsely decorated. It's not a cluttered sort of place at all. So I've got a few items to play with for the gardens, which is just forest basically. The house is it's got a road running along the front, but it's got woods all around and behind it. So that's what this is going to be. And bushes and whatnot. So for this, I want it to look like it's quite not overgrown, but you know, well foliaged. So I'm going to start going around the edges before I put any trees in. I'm going to put in quite a few of these just to give it a bit of background and to mark out the garden area. Which is probably quite boring for everyone to look at. I've found as I've been doing this that watching me decorate is probably not that interesting, to be honest. At least you can see how the house went up, and you can see the materials that I used and how I planned it. But watching somebody actually doing it, not that interesting. And I imagine the same will hold true for the garden as well. So I'll have some fun with this, and then I'll come back when it's finished, and I start on the internal decor. The plan here, just so as you know, is that I'll go all around the outside of the property with these. I haven't decided yet what to do with the pool area, the natural lake on this island. There's a lot of garden excuse me, to fill, and once I've added a couple of expanders, I may only need one, we'll see. I'm not sure how much I'll have left, and I doubt very much whether I'll do anything up there. I probably won't. This is all going to be very modern, straight lines, sleek, blah blah, you know, nothing really very ornamental. So I'll come back when I've finished this area, and then we'll start on the inside. Okay, so I've made a bit of a woodland out here. This is the preliminary shape of it. Various different trees and plants, but mainly all evergreen stuff. And it's not really to any particular design, just a nice mixture of greens. I'll fill it in a bit more, but the basic outline is there, and what I've done is left a path here to the lake, so that if nothing else there'll be views through there. I might even go wild and completely break with the whole theme of the place and just do something super colourful out here, because this house is not and the gardens aren't either. So I've decided to come back indoors again for a bit, and I'm putting the kitchen in this section, and I've bought a couple of marketplace pieces, and right now I'm just building some cabinets over here. These are very easily done. These are half blocks that are made, some black stairs. I didn't have any black narrow dividers, so I'm having to use dark red ones. But all I'm doing is finding that join and then placing a divider, get roughly lined up. It's all done by eye, and then just pop it down. And, oh, too far. Ooh, too far over. And if you try and move this without lifting it back up again, you'll lose it. It's a real nuisance. So it doesn't have to be spot on, just, you know, near as damn it. There. And then what I'll do is I'll just turn this into drawers by using a tile or a railing. So like, it's a black marble railing here. Like that. So then I'll put some handles on, and for that I'll probably use beer mugs of some sort. That's what I usually use. So this will be drawers and cupboards along here, and then there's the marketplace stuff, which I'll probably I don't think I'll leave it like that. It's a bit ornate. Certainly going to get rid of that barrel. It doesn't look right at all. Something like a narrow divider. We'll sort that out. My one last black one. So they're gone. Just the barrel was just not really, I wasn't feeling it. I might cover those drawers as well. I'll give that some thought. There's a lot to cover up, and it's going to be tricky, so we'll see. And then there's a piano in the Cullen house, and I'll just pop a few vases along there, and probably make this the dining area down this end. So I will come back when I've done a bit more and keep you posted. Okay, I'm back, having been distracted by real life and the lovely weather that we're having here in England at the moment. That and the scorched sky event. What I've done here, I've just literally left various bits and pieces because the Cullen house has a lot of modern art. So I've left a kind of American style post box at the front, and have started decorating the interior now. So some very simple tricks. This is a column, golden marble one, which looks like that, but I've just literally sunk it down using the in-game tools to give me a little table. Used a picture frame. This one, I think it's Conquering the Wastes. Oh no, it's the Rigor Legacy. Just set it back into the wall a little bit and use these gaskets to make some wall art. I've used some real pictures over here and built a big TV, and then made this seating area. Very easy to do. These are just half blocks of redwood and the redwood dividers at the back, and these are the Matopi blankets to form padding for the seat. And the table is just a modern table with the same half blocks and then red marble and black marble on top. So that whole seating area was dead easy to make, as was this fire. And it's just granite half blocks, and this is one of the new, what do you call them? What's it called? Sun scale, that's it, tall column. Actually looks like the red marble to me, certainly from a distance. And these are just door frames that I've put in there, just to make a big fireplace in the middle. Over at the kitchen, I haven't quite finished here yet. Started stacking the shelves, putting in some extra cupboards and a breakfast bar. But the kitchen's pretty much finished. And upstairs, a bit more modern art, not the sort of thing that I would go for in real life, but that house has all sorts of kooky, if you look at the pictures of it on the internet, kooky, interesting artwork. So I just thought I'd make some with some tinkered items. And this is one of the bedrooms. Well, I've just made a wardrobe here from white marble and the sun stuff again. Oh, turn the UI back on. Sun scale. One day I'll remember what that actually is. It's a very simple wardrobe to make, just dividers and stairs, and I'll put a few bags and things in there just to make it look a bit more wardrobe-like. So it's very plain and very simple fireplace. More weird art. And then this adjoining bathroom, it has a very simple shower. I haven't put the shower head in yet. Sink unit. These are my favourite things for taps. These cabarite wards, you can if you've done the Sundered Frontier and Stonebrunt timeline, then you'll be able to, your carpenter can make those. Actually, I'm not sure if that's not available to everybody. Maybe everyone can make those. And this toilet, very simple. That's a vase, and this thing is a trinkets crate that comes from a shiny collection. I think they make great toilet tanks. I really like the colour and the pattern on them. And out here I just made another fireplace and some, I'm not sure these really go actually in here, these sofas, but I just thought they were interesting, so I've left them for now. I need to fill up these bookcases. And then through here, this is just a sort of general chill out room. I think I'll probably end up putting a TV somewhere. And these are the lovely Beach Island shelves that were kindly donated to me. And I've just put a couple of these elven bathhouse benches out here and these Othmere chairs. And then upstairs, my favourite rug in the whole of Narath. I actually unpublished a house to pick these out of it. And I'll put a bit more, you know, a few more bits in the hallways. Made a second bathroom here. Just little corner unit and toilet. And the shower stall that I was going to put in Grimald Place but decided not to. And I'll put some more wall art in there, and that's those thingies that were downstairs. And this bedroom needs to be finished. I need some wardrobes in here. And then I think I'm about done with this place. It won't take long, she says, assuming that I concentrate on it and stop getting distracted by other things. So yeah, it's very nearly done, and I'll probably just do one more installment as a brief run through when I've finished. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so now I'm on the last run through of the house. It's finished, subject to any final tweakings or any issues that I find. So I'm just going to do a fast run through of what I've done to finish it off. Just made the mailbox a bit more interesting. And the doorways, because the doorways was like super massive, I've just made these a bit smaller by adding one of these ice rectangular doorways and a stair to block off that area. I've kept it all in the same colours and made a glass door with a sort of modern handle. Inside, I think it's pretty much as it was when you last saw it. The kitchen, I've kept very simple. I've just added this because I just love these things. I'm obsessed with them, and this is my last one. So I'm going to need to find a friend to go to the ruins of Cabalus to get another one. Mascara took me last time. And the fridge, I've just put a little engine thingy on the top. I love these things, they're just fab. Finished off the shelves, and when I ran around the back of the house, these shelves were actually sticking out, so I've just, replaced those. They're not quite flush, but hey, don't look too closely. I think this is all the same apart from framing these. I've just put gold frames on everything, and I think I may have said earlier, the paintings that I use are Conquering the Wastes and Odus Wastelands, I think it's the other one. No, Ralos's Blessing. And they're very easy to do. Literally, you just put the painting on the wall over the painting that you're wanting to cover, like that, and then just move it back with the tools until the ugly orc thing goes away and the picture you want to shoot is right there. Okay, upstairs, I can't remember how much of the wall art I showed you. This video is literally in about 14 pieces. So I just filled up the shelves a little bit more, added a bit of definition to this wardrobe by adding the sun scale arch, just to make it a bit more interesting. Otherwise it's very flat white. I like this little unit. I adore these things. Dervish glass chests. They hit the right note of modern and yet, interesting. And these, I haven't done much with lighting in this house because it really doesn't need it. The TT aisle is very bright anyway, and it never goes dark here, which is another one of the reasons why I love this house, because you're not spending half your time frustrated because you can't actually see what you're doing, which is a major issue for me, especially in places like the Kinos house and oh god, what was the other one I did recently? Oh, the Isle of Refuge. That's such a nuisance when you actually can't see what you're doing because it's so dark and you've got to place lights everywhere to be able to see what you're doing. So yeah, this house doesn't really need it. And in the bathroom, the water thingy that I decided to use was this whirling bowl from the Oceans Full event, the whirling water basin. I thought that made an interesting shower. I just added a pool flush for this toilet. Going back to my very first loos. I do like those things, those baubles. What else? I decided to leave these sofas, even though they're, as I said before, I don't think they entirely go, but I like them. Put some interesting knickknacks and bits and pieces on the shelves, and I thought that made quite a striking combination. I love these dark Etherneer crystals. I have none left now. I've used them all up in here. And the same with this door. It was too big, so I've just made it smaller with a stair and a rectangular door frame inside the sumac door frame. And out on here I really haven't done anything, just made some interesting thing on the wall. And Edward Cullen seems like the kind of guy who plays chess. And I just touched the Guildhall door around there. And then over here, excuse me, in the chill out room, I just filled up Sarashie's island bar that she gave me, and I changed the colours in here. It was a bit too bright. I just love those stormstalk clumps. I think they're wonderful things, but this house is all very woody and very green, so I changed the colour scheme and just put a bit of purple in there. Made a clock. And I think that was all for this floor. And upstairs again, I just made the doorway smaller, this time an impacted metal stair and the ice door frame, and again made another glass door with modern handle. And some more wall art. This one I deliberately left blank just because it just added a bit of interest to that blank wall. And I think even though I really try to steer away from using tapestries and anything of any colour in this house, I really like that one. It's one of my favourites. And this rug also, I think it's quite muted. It's not, you know, too bright and hectic. And in this bedroom I made some furniture, some bedside tables, and another wardrobe arrangement. This time I did it in teak and used the white to add a bit of interest. And a cupboard, and that's my guild tapestry at the moment. So, not a lot changed in here. Loo roll, it's just a scroll. I've been very lazy with my toilet roll in this house. Eridan scroll, but I like the colour. It kind of all went, and a bit more wall art. So easy to do. So that's it for the interior of the home. Everywhere you look out of the windows, you can see the forest around the house. And out here I just put a few benches about the place so that you can sit out. This is all pretty much as it was. And here again, this might be a bit too ornamental, but I love this garden arch, and it just felt like a nice entrance towards the pool area, which again I just kept very simple. The same colours, the same plants, a few reeds and whatnot, and a few interesting boulders around the place. I just love this island so much. So I haven't done anything up on the top island. Didn't really go with the theme of the home to do anything up there. So that's it. If you want to know specifically anything that I haven't covered, or that I made and you want to make and you want to know how, then let me know. Otherwise, that's it. You can have the layout of it if you want, and the list of materials and whatnot if you want to build one for yourself. So that's it for the Cullen house, and I will now go away and think of something else to do. I'll see you soon in another.